For a long time, I've seen a clear misunderstanding of one particular mental illness, that mental illness being OCD. And the problem with it is how much of an impact it can really have. So many people don't know what OCD actually is, but they believe they do. OCD, as defined by the NHS, is a common mental health condition where a person has obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviours. This means an obsession, which is an unwanted and unpleasant thought, image, or urge that repeatedly enters your mind, causing feelings of anxiety, disgust, or unease, and a compulsion, which is a repetitive behaviour or mental act that you feel you need to do to temporarily relieve the unpleasant feelings brought on by the obsessive thought. For example, someone with an obsessive fear of being burgled may feel they need to check all the windows and doors are locked several times before they can leave the house. A lot of other good examples are when you constantly need to check your pockets to make sure you haven't dropped anything because of a constant fear of losing your property. This is a mental health issue that a lot of people deal with, but it's often incorrectly profiled as something else. OCD is not that thing where you like to be neat and tidy. It's where you have to arrange stuff and you have to put everything in a way that helps soothe your mind, otherwise you're put through a constant trauma within your head that you can't deal with. And as a person who has a lot of symptoms of OCD, although I've never been professionally diagnosed, I can tell you firsthand that it's a very, very, very painful experience to go through. And obviously there's no cure for OCD, but I've always wanted to have a positive impact with my YouTube channel. And I believe the best way I can do that is to honestly make a video to educate people about this. OCD is not just a thing where you like to be neat and tidy. It's a really serious mental illness. So I've decided to take a quote from a song by NF called Leave Me Alone. NF is a person diagnosed with OCD. And the quote is, "Diagnosed with OCD, what does that mean? Well, gather round. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That means I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminate and fill balloons up full of doubt. Do the same things if I don't, I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are pacing, they go round and round. It's so draining. Let's move on to something else." OCD is something you have. It's not the same as being hyper-organized, tidy, or clean. Color coding your folders is not OCD. A clean workspace is not OCD. Needing to clean up your room is not OCD, and OCD looks different for each individual. No two obsessions or compulsions may be the same, and symptoms can vary in intensity between people. OCD is a serious mental health problem that a lot of people deal with that has no cure, doesn't go away. It's something you deal with from whenever you first realize it, which can be anywhere from the ages of 9 to like 14 up to 20, 30, 40. It could even appear later in life than that. OCD is something that shows up and it's here to stay. It's a trait that's permanently retained once you pick it up, I guess. And you may wonder why I even believe I need to speak on this, because why would you need to know this information? At the end of the day, what are you going to do with this information if you don't have OCD? Well, my biggest issue is that people have decided they're going to start faking having OCD or mental illnesses like depression. And I'm not going to invalidate anyone's experiences because I know a lot of people do deal with mental health issues. And I don't want to say that anyone's issue is fake or anything like that, because if it wasn't, that would be a serious mistake on my end and it would be a serious problem. I'm not invalidating anyone's experiences and I want that to be clear. But what I do want to say is that faking a serious issue like OCD, depression, anxiety, it's not a simple thing, and it causes way more problems than you could even understand or comprehend. Because by faking a mental illness, you marginalize and wrongly represent a serious issue. You make other people feel like their experiences are invalidated, and you make it seem like a common trait or not as serious as it actually is. Things like OCD should normally be diagnosed. They're important things that sometimes you can receive medication for, sometimes you can't, just like ADHD. And they're important things that you normally talk to a therapist about. Sadly, I haven't done that because I'm lucky enough to be able to handle a normal life while dealing with these traits. However, it's still a serious issue that most people should talk about, whether you think your experience is small or large. But lying about your experiences is not fair and it causes more problems than it solves. It doesn't solve any problems. And a lot of people do it for attention. And that's the biggest issue. When you're faking a serious issue like depression, which, faking thoughts about taking your own life for attention is horrible when other people deal with that on a daily basis. And pretending that you deal with OCD because you like to be neat and tidy or stuff like that is not logical. If you don't believe you have a lot of the traits, or you believe that you just like to be neat and tidy, that's not OCD. OCD is a obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive and compulsive. It's not a choice. It's not a choice to clean your room. It's not oh, I really want to clean my room. It's almost like a voice in the back of your head, and that voice constantly tells you to do something, and until you do it, it puts you through mental turmoil. And to say that it disgusts me that people can lie about this, to lie about something that so many people go through and suffer with, is awful. And even if I didn't deal with it, I'd still have the same viewpoint. The fact that someone could lie about something like that is awful. And honestly, if you're lying about having a mental health issue for attention online, I don't want you to be my fan. I don't want you to support me. Because lying about your own mental health for attention from other people is one of the most terrifying things you could do. Because instead, you normalize a big issue. And instead, you make it seem less than it actually is. And instead, you silence other people because they think, oh, look, everyone deals with it. You know, it's fine. I'm not special. I don't have any reason why I should actually see a therapist. And then they're the people that end up hurting themselves. And they're the people that end up going through more trauma than other people. If you believe you're dealing with a mental health issue, speak to somebody about it. Please speak to somebody about it. Don't be afraid to talk up because you believe your experience is too small, or you believe that you might not actually have it. Because if you believe you might not actually have it, speak to someone and find out if you do. They can diagnose you professionally if you go to a doctor. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to do that because it can affect your work standing, and I respect that. That's basically why I haven't been diagnosed. But for the people that actively lie about their mental health, for the benefits that they can gain out of it, please, all I can ask you is please don't. OCD, ADHD, anxiety and depression and all the other mental health issues that you could deal with are more serious than you could understand. A mental health issue is much worse than any physical issue, because a physical issue can hurt you on the outside, but where people can hurt you the most is in your head. And when you're the one hurting yourself in your head, there's no escape from it, especially when your mind compulsively reminds you about it and forces you to deal with it in a way that's not healthy for yourself. I hope that I've genuinely helped a few people today to hopefully know more about what OCD actually is, and I hope that for the people that may potentially in my audience be lying about their mental health, and I'm not saying anyone is, but on the off chance that you are, I'm not going to blame you for it, but please just don't in the future. Please don't. Because firstly, it causes problems for people that actually do deal with those issues. And secondly, it marginalizes a voice by an audience that isn't true. It's like doing a public speech on something you didn't research. You end up giving false information based on what you think you understand when you don't. And you end up hurting people more than you realize. With that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't know if I'll make more videos just like this one, but I do enjoy explaining this type of stuff. So if you want to hear more videos like this where I do just talk to you and explain stuff like this and give you the truth of stuff like this, misunderstood things like this, like mental health, I would be happy to do so. I know a lot of people that actually deal with these issues, and I've spoke to them, I've consulted them about this, and a lot of them have similar experiences to mine, and a lot of them have different experiences to mine, and that's fine, because a lot of people have different experiences with everything. And to those people, I just want you to know that you have my full support, always. Anyone in my audience that is dealing with a mental health issue, just know that I'm always here to talk. My DMs are always open, my email is in my about section, and you can speak to me at any time if you'd like to. With that, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.